playoff time basketball season, and I thought this would be a great opportunity for us to just sit down and argue about who is the GOAT. Who is the greatest of all time? Is it Kareem? Is it Magic? Is it LeBron? Is it Jordan? Is it somebody said Tracy McGrady in that players poll that recently took place? So I had to run up the stairs. I was running a little late. But hey, we're going to talk a little bit about Michael Jordan and how Michael Jordan is to blame for athletes having to pay millions of dollars every year, and it's all MJ's fault. Hey, before we dive in, I'm Marcus, this the channel of the Debt Free Dad, where we're talking finances, financial takes, financial topics, current events. I am a licensed attorney, but I'm not your attorney, so this isn't legal or financial advice. It's just a dude on the internet giving his opinion and takes on topics and reactions to things. If you need help from a professional, go find a professional in your area. Don't rely on me because I'm not y'all professional. I'm a professional, but I'm not y'all professional. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about it. Michael Jordan is responsible for winning 6 chips and not ever losing. He's the about to sell the Charlotte Hornets and make a hell of a lot of money because he was probably the worst GM, not the worst GM in history, but he was pretty bad at picking players. But Michael Jordan also did something that impacts every player, but not only every player, every person associated with the team. What is this that Michael Jordan do, DFD? Well, because of Michael Jordan, states started to utilize the jock tax. Now, y'all may or may not be familiar with the jock tax. The jock tax was in existence per se way before Jordan came in the scene in 91 and played the Lakers. But that Michael Jordan victory over the Lakers in 1991 essentially triggered a jock tax war among states that we're going to dive into. So let me go ahead and pull up the article so we can get a little bit about the background and what's going on. And I found this article. This is an older article, but it put things into granularity so we can understand what was going on and how come this is the Michael Jordan rule, so to speak, is how it's defined, or a lot of people call it. 118 million rich, Steph Curry lost $1 million in 2018 thanks to Michael Jordan and the law that came out of spite. All right, thanks to MJ and his excellence back in the 1991 NBA Finals. Essentially, I don't want to read it now because all of this stuff. But essentially, in 1991, when the Chicago Bulls beat the Los Angeles Lakers, some folks over there in the government in California were a little hot. They were a little upset. They were a little spicy that their team lost. And so, what did they decide to do? Well, the folks in the California State Treasury decided to send Michael Jordan and his teammates a tax bill for all the games that they played in Los Angeles while they were whipping the Lakers' ass. And so, what did this do? This kind of started a chain reaction, if you will, because, hey, good old state of Illinois, the folks over on the Chicago side, all the Chicago fans, what do you think they did? After LA, because their team got their ass whipped, implemented the jock tax on the Chicago Bulls. Hey, the good old state of Illinois love their Chicago Bulls. They implemented a jock tax on the Lakers. And it essentially started a Cold War. So now that turned into what we have right now. Athletes have to pay a jock tax, is what they call it, in every state that they play in. So if you play 10 road games, that's 10 different potential tax obligations that you'll have that you will be on the hook for. Now, it's funny because I don't know. This actually goes in Michael Jordan's favor of making him the GOAT in my eyes. It has nothing to do with basketball, but he whipped somebody and pissed the people of this county, this state off so bad that they said we got to get back at these guys, and the only way we can is to tax their asses for when they were playing games here, whooping us. So that's crazy. So the reason that athletes essentially have to pay taxes in every state that they play in is all because of Michael Jordan and that ass whooping he put on the Lakers in 1991. He beat the Lakers. Somebody in government got salty. They sent the tax bill to the Chicago Bulls. hey, the state of Illinois got a little hot and said, you know what? If y'all gonna tax our guys, we're gonna tax your guys. Then a Cold War started. Every state started implementing this. So now mostly all states have a jock tax. Now here where it gets interesting because this jock tax not only applies to the athletes, it applies to people who travel with the team. So if a doctor travels with the team, if the water boy or girl travel with the team and they're on salary, they actually have an obligation to ante up and pay that jock tax. So I wanted to go into a interesting article. Let me pull it up. Are non-athletes subject to the jock tax? The jock tax get its name because of its association with professional athletes, but they are not the only people the jock tax can apply to. As mentioned, other people affiliated with the team who travel to other states or cities may be subject to the tax. That includes trainers, doctors, coaches, and others who earn an income in multiple states while traveling with the team. But what about non athletes? The jock tax can also apply to other professionals who earn money outside of their state residence, even outside of the sports industry. Celebrities who film movies in different states, for example, or an author who goes on a book tour can be taxed on the income they earn in each location. Ordinary workers who perform work in different states don't escape tax consequences either. If you live in one state and earn income in that state, as well as another state, you may be responsible for meeting tax obligations in both locations. Whether you have to file multiple state returns depend on whether the state you earn money in as a non-resident tax that income. Untangling these kind of issues can be tricky. You have to get a professional, blah, blah, blah. But so, hey, the jock tax was something that was around, but it really exploded because of Michael Jordan. And I kind of understand this and experienced this firsthand because if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I don't buy rental properties where I live because it's expensive as hell. That's just kind of not my thing. I typically buy rental properties down south. I go down south where I can get better deals. Where when I had rental properties down south, I was getting that income in another state. That income had some tax obligations. Now, to be fair, it was a very small tax obligation. I mean, it wasn't anything like 10% or something like that. It was a very small tax obligation, but it is an obligation nonetheless. So that's definitely something that you have to take into consideration. If you have a business, but you operate and are making money in other states, there could be some tax exposure. When I sold one of my rental properties in 2001, I probably linked the video in the description or something, but when I sold one of my rental properties in another state, once I realized all that profit, it wasn't just paying the feds and paying where I paid taxes at. I had to pay taxes where that property was located. Now, to be fair, I think they had a really good system um, on satisfying that tax obligation. It was something that was very low. It wasn't even, let me see, it was probably 10, it probably was like 1.5% or something like that. But in all actuality, when you actually think about it, it kind of makes sense to do that. So, hey, if you got a business, if you earn an income in a state outside of your home state, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a coach, whether you're a trainer, whether you're a water boy, whether you're an author on a book tour, you have to be cognizant because there could be some tax obligation because of that. And even though we can't give Michael Jordan all the credit, but the reason they turned it into a Cold War was because of Michael Jordan. So I wanted to just jump in, give y'all this quick story, give y'all the historical background, and another reason why we could consider Michael Jordan the GOAT because states are collecting millions of dollars every year just because MJ put an ass whipping on the Lakers back in 91. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out the content on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finance and attorney reactions. Peace.